I may be a week late and potentially $1 short, but if you're going to leave this video right now, I want you to know one thing. Resident Evil Requiem is worth your time.
What are you doing?
Leon, what's your sit rep?
I'm going after Victor.
Don't do anything stupid.
Me? Never. Oh, fuck. Let's make this quick.
This game provides a great package that is an immersive experience. You play through the story of Resident Evil Requiem from two perspectives. The first perspective is that of Grace, who gives you a survival horror experience we've become accustomed to from RE7 and RE8. The other perspective is that of Leon walking down S. Kennedy, which also provides a survival horror experience, but that's for the NPCs. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not the most diehard Resident Evil fan. I got into the franchise of Resident Evil 7, the only other game I played in the series being Resident Evil 4. After playing this game, it's clear that you need to have played Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 7, and Resident Evil 8 to appreciate this love letter to the fans from Capcom. Now, I most definitely will be taking a trip down to the classics and getting more cultured on the Resident Evil franchise just because of how much I enjoyed this game. But despite my lack of knowledge in the RE universe, I was grasped by the story, immersed in the world, and enthralled by the gameplay. Now, full context. My playthrough took just under 14 hours, and since I work a full-time job, that took me about a week to complete. I assume this game would take most people in a similar position 2 weeks to a month to complete, but it is most definitely worth your time. Now, this is a spoiler-free review, but I would like to say that I really enjoyed the story despite a few areas where it fell short. Resident Evil Requiem opens with Grace Ashcroft, who is an FBI intelligence agent who was tasked to investigate a body which was found in an abandoned hotel. This body is suspected to be related to a string of mysterious deaths across America, and the story quickly unfolds from there. Grace discovers that this is somehow related to her mother's death, and coincidentally, Leon Kennedy finds himself dispatched to the same scene, pushing these two on intersecting paths as they unravel the mystery of the killings, and this ultimately leads them back to Raccoon City. That's the synopsis of the story, and that's essentially what Capcom has included in the marketing, and so I won't go much beyond that. Now, I didn't play Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 8, so I feel like this story might have affected those who played those games a bit more, but it didn't really take away from my experience. There are certain sections where the game began to drag its feet a little bit, and the pacing of the game fell off. I never felt disengaged or begging for the credits to roll. However, I did find myself wondering if there was an hour or two which could have been tweaked or even dropped, or if there was a way to keep the wheels turning in a way that consistently accelerated the story or kept it going. Because there were a few moments there where it felt like we had really good pace and it just sort of spins its wheels and slows down a bit. However, one area which completely knocked it out of the park for me was the performances in general, but especially that of Grace Ashcroft. Her voice actress, Angela San Albino, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm really sorry if I'm not, killed it. With every line delivered, you can hear the unease and fear in her voice, you can hear her breathing intensify and gasp when confronted by one of the many, many monsters of this universe. Even when the writing could have dropped the ball a little bit, Angela made sure that her delivery was always on point, and her performance for me never skipped a beat. The other standout was obviously Leon Kennedy, who was voiced by Nick Apostolides. Again, I am so sorry for the pronunciation. Who also killed it. Man, Leon Kennedy is just so damn cool. The action movie one-liners always hit and left me smiling as I got ready to obliterate another set of zombies. Nick was a big part of why playing as Leon was super fun, and he also deserves a lot of praise. So overall, RE9 delivers a great story that takes you on a super fun journey with fantastic voice work that will leave you very entertained throughout, despite some slight pacing issues midway through the game. Now, let's talk about gameplay. There's essentially two games here. The gripping survival horror with Grace, where you try to sneak your way around the tight corridors, avoiding enemies unless it's absolutely necessary to engage them. And on the flip side to that, we have Leon sections where you're literally Rorschach from The Watchmen.
None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you. That's it! You're locked in here with me!
I loved both these sections and styles of gameplay. And the way the game is structured, it always keeps things fresh because you're constantly switching back and forth between the characters, so you never get bored of either style. The game seems to consistently shift gears at the perfect time to keep gameplay fresh and engaging, although I will say the first half of the game is more Grace heavy, while the second half of the game is more Leon focused, with little bits of Grace and Leon mixed in to keep things fresh. Grace essentially has to use her stealth and creativity to take out or avoid enemies. One cool mechanic is that Grace uses infected blood to craft healing items, ammo, throwables, and Grace's takedown tool. This creates a cool gameplay mechanic where you're navigating around a location looking for a pool of blood to loot so that you can take out a zombie on the other side of the map that stands between you and your objective. You have to be really strategic with Grace and being smart with how you manage your resources. Grace also has a significantly smaller inventory than Leon, which you can upgrade by finding hip pouches throughout the story. Although it is kind of funny to think about how many hip pouches Grace is probably wearing once you find like your fourth one. Like she's probably wearing like 8 hip pouches. Like at that point, it might be worth just, finding a backpack. On the flip side, Leon shows up kitted up and ready for war. He starts off with a pistol and a hand cannon, coyly named Requiem, and a hatchet, which can parry just about anything. And yes, I mean anything. I'm sure as everyone has seen, there are now clips of Leon parrying a bazooka with a hatchet. And honestly, I fuck with it. Leon shows up to every scene like a force of nature ready to take out anyone who is in his way. If you enjoyed the Resident Evil 4 remake, you are going to love this one. I most definitely did. One thing I loved about this game was the different locations that the story takes you. From the 7-style opening of the game, the interiors of Road Hill, the horrifying mines, and many, many really cool locations that I won't spoil in Raccoon City. Each area felt tight and dense with content. Moving through each environment, you can tell they were handcrafted by Capcom with care to tell a story around every corner and every frame. I truly loved traversing each corridor despite the horrors which lurked around every corner. This is especially true for Grace, who often has to dodge a terrifying monster which is hunting her down in her sections. So a lot of the sections in any given map are instantly recognizable, allowing the player to navigate them from memory over time. I was sometimes checking my map a little too often to see if I missed any loot. I am sorry, but I'm a loot goblin. I can't control myself. Forgive me. One unique and cool aspect of the game is that Grace and Leon will often find themselves navigating the same sections, so it created a cool dichotomy where the zombies Grace was terrified of and avoiding, Leon is simply just gunning down with ease soon after, which gives Grace the perfect opportunity to backtrack and collect all the good infected blood that would help her craft her items, like a little good loot goblin. That being said, I was able to take out a respectable amount of enemies with Grace, so she ain't no slouch, that's for sure. There were only 2 critiques I had for the gameplay. First, I found the puzzles to be a little lackluster. It feels like there was an opportunity here to really test players and allow them to make mistakes. One thing that Baldur's Gate 3 did amazingly is reward players for failing. I believe that was potentially a missed opportunity here where I would have liked to hopefully see Capcom explore it in future games. Secondly, I hate that there is no option or button to switch shoulders when playing in the third-person perspective. It made otherwise stellar gameplay feel a little clunky when I couldn't see around a corner simply because Leon doesn't like a southpaw stance. Overall, the gameplay of this game was fantastic and incredibly enjoyable.
Mr. Kennedy, we need to leave immediately.
What's going on?
I don't know what's happening. Some kind of mass hysteria. The hospital is on lockdown. Doctor.
Calm down.
Moving on to visuals and performance, Resident Evil 9 is a graphical powerhouse and runs incredibly well. I play this game on PC with my old decrepit RTX 3080 Ti, and I seldom had any problems with performance, except for one section on a highway, but I believe the frame drops in that particular area was due to me running out of storage while recording gameplay, as when I reloaded that section, it ran fine. The character models in this game are highly detailed, and the environments even more so. I think the opening sections of this game highlight graphical aptitude of this game expertly. I'm no digital foundry, so I can't exactly give a detailed breakdown as to why it looks good, but to my untrained eyes, this game is pretty damn pretty.
Mom, what are you doing?
Something important.
One area where Resident Evil 9 excelled was sound.
He's dead. Infected.
As Grace, you could hear the floor creak under each footstep, constantly praying nothing hears you. You can feel the decrepit structure settle around you, wondering if that noise you heard overhead is another horrifying monster getting ready to pounce on you. Meanwhile, as Leon, your guns are incredibly satisfying as they quake through the air and demolish any creature who dares run into his path of destruction. My personal favorite gun was the shotgun, which was especially satisfying to take enemies out with, although using the hatchet was also very fun. Another cool design aspect was how music was implemented in this game. It's very subtle but highly effective. The music is used to enhance the environment and often creeps up on you based on a few factors. If an enemy sees you, you instantly hear a terrifying charm followed by a slow build of tense music. However, music also builds slowly if you're incredibly aggressive. It sneaks up on you, easing you into a constant state of unease, which is great for player immersion. Or, when the terrifying stalker-type enemy of the section jumps you or starts creeping up on you, you'll find the music quickly there to amplify the horror. Overall, the sound and music in this game was fantastically done, and I have no complaints.
What the fuck?
To tie things up, Resident Evil 9 delivers a package with stellar graphics, engaging gameplay, a fun story, and terrific sound design, which I had a lot of fun playing. For that reason, I am giving this game a 90, which positions it as an S- game on my scale. I very strongly recommend people try this game if they haven't already. 2026 is already off to a strong start. Stay tuned for my marathon review, which is coming out next week. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment below if you'd like to see me review any other games, old, new, or upcoming, as well as any other content you would like to see me create. Until next time, take care everyone.